Hey guys, and welcome back to the Tampa Raptors MyGM. Now, I want to make this very clear. I'm not stealing the Toronto Raptors. I'm not trying to take them away. I'm just simply playing off what's going on with the Raptors right now. I thought it would be interesting. My man Caleb hooked me up with a great logo, so I thought, why not? Let's do it. The Raptors are an interesting team anyway. So getting on past that point. Last episode, we simulated about 40 games into the season. We're currently in the playoffs, 25-16. If we look at the conference standings, we're currently a bit back in the Eastern Conference. We're middle of the pack, the current 4th seed. But we are just behind Miami and Philadelphia for the 2nd seed. I'm not sure if we'll be able to catch Boston, being that they're absolutely dominant at home. But either way, looking at the contract extensions, which is the deadline we had before we ended last episode, Kyle Lowry is going to be a free agent, Norman Powell is going to be a free agent, and OG Anunoby will be a free agent. We have a ton of salary and pretty much the entire core of our team outside of Pascal and Fred VanVleet becoming free agents. So this may be an entirely new roster starting next season. So I right now want to finish out this season, at least a regular season, move on to the playoffs, see how well we do in the first round. I'll simulate the first round, and depending on how we do, we can play a game in the second round of the playoffs or move into the offseason, depending on what happens. But for right now, we're going to go on just as things are. We're going to get to the end of our first regular season and look over this roster and see what we need to do going into the playoffs and possibly the offseason after that. So at the end of our first season, we actually reached the 50 win mark, which I am very happy about. LeBron, your MVP, LaMelo Ball, your Rookie of the Year, Spencer Dinwiddie, Giannis, Fred VanVleet, our very own Fred VanVleet, Most Improved Player, 14, 5, and a steal and a half. Mike Malone, your Coach of the Year. Anybody from the Tampa Raptors on this list? Unfortunately, it does not look like that. No, but we are the 3rd seed going up against the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young, Bogey, Danilo Gallinari. This is a very, very underrated team. I mean, just look at the depth. So you have your starting 5, and then you have Bertans, Rondo, Okongwu, Herter, and Cam Reddish, all coming off the bench. This is a very dangerous first-round team. Milwaukee, the number 1 seed. Denver, surprisingly, the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Even looks like Paul Millsap is gone. I want to take a look at there any major transactions, trades. Ricky Rubio traded. Clint Capella traded for Davis Bertans. That was a big Hawks trade. So, let's go ahead and simulate the first round and see how we do against Atlanta. 2-2, 3-2. Going through the first couple games, let's take a look here. So, game 1, we lost behind 36 from Trae Young. Game 2, we bounced back with a big game from Kyle Lowry. Game 3, again, Atlanta takes it behind Trae Young. We eke out a win with a very balanced effort. And then in Game 5, we take the 6-point win behind a near triple-double from Kyle. And it looks like, what happened here? Pascal Siakam, a major injury. A hairline fracture. He had to. How long was he out for this year? If we look at his career stats. How many games did he even play? Okay, so he was only out for the last 4 games. But that looked like his injury had gone into the playoffs. I also want to see how our player stats were for this past season. So Kyle Lowry ends up being our highest scorer and our best facilitator. Then Pascal, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, and Terrence Davis. OG Anunoby and Chris Boucher not exactly putting in what I thought they would put in. But either way, up 3-2. and we take Atlanta in 7 games. Game 6, we take it, the Hawks, blow us out. But in Game 7, we were able to take it behind 22 from Kyle Lowry, and we're moving on to face Orlando, who upset Boston in round 1. Michael Carter-Williams, Jonathan Isaac. We should be able to get to the Western Conference Finals rather easily against this Orlando team. So we're down 2-all, 3-2, and we end up in the Western Conference Finals against Milwaukee. Let's take a look at this quick series. Starting Game 1, it looks like Kyle Lowry, Kyle Lowry the entire game. Even in his off game, nearly a triple-double. Game 5, Kyle Lowry with 26. He's gotten us this far. But now we go up against the new-look Milwaukee Bucks with Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Giannis. A much deeper team. Bryn Forbes, Frank Kaminsky, Bobby Portis now on the team. I'm not sure how we're going to do against Milwaukee. So we take the first 2 games behind Norman Powell, 30-point game, and leading us to first game with 23. We take Game 3 behind 27 and 7 from Kyle Lowry. Giannis has not been able to do anything. This is shocking. We're really going to make the finals in our first year with the Toronto or Tampa Raptors. Milwaukee, and we will be in the NBA Finals against the Los Angeles Lakers. This is absolutely shocking. We take care of the Bucks in 5 games? What is Kyle Lowry averaging during the playoffs? During the playoffs, Kyle's averaging 22, 5, and 7. Pascal Siakam, much lower scoring. He's only shooting 44%. Fred VanVleet, the bench production carrying us. So let's go ahead and go through all the NBA Finals. If we win a championship in our first series, LeBron, too much for us. Anthony Davis, a horrible shooting night from Kyle Lowry. Game 2, the Lakers again behind 28 from Dennis Schroeder. Was not enough. Our balanced scoring effort did not work. We take Game 3, coming back home, Pascal Siakam in overtime with 35, 9, and 4. Game 4, we tie it up. Norman Powell with another 30-point game. Kyle Lowry bounces back. We dropped 157 points against the LA Lakers. Game 5, the Lakers take Game 5 back in LA behind 33, 12, and 7 from LeBron. We got absolutely blown out. And the Lakers take the NBA championship. In our first season with the Tampa Raptors, we make it to the NBA Finals. It's going to be really hard for me to bounce back from an NBA Finals appearance with the majority of our entire team leaving in the offseason. But that is the task that we have, and we got to deal with it. So, I think we're going to go all the way up until the NBA draft and our rookie signings, and we'll leave free agency and the options until next episode. First of all, no major names retiring. No major staff retirements besides Pop. League meetings, I'll go ahead and reject all of these. I don't want any rules changing for now. But this is where things get interesting, because if we look at our salary cap table, at this point we're losing the majority of our entire team. The only people we'll have under contract will be Pascal, Fred, Norman Powell, if we accept his player option, which I will, Aaron Baines' team option, which I'll most likely decline, and Matt Thomas. So we'll have 5 players under contract. We're losing all these players: OG, Kyle Lowry, Boucher, and we had the trade exceptions from when I got them here. I want to see where we are in the draft lottery. The regular Raptors are at 5. The Tampa Raptors are all the way at 26. Now, this is the 2021 draft class. So, with us losing so many players, who are we slated to bet? We're slated to draft. We may be getting Scotty Lewis, or even going into the start of the second round. I may go after Wendell Moore could be a decent pick back there. Even moving back to pick up Joel Ayayi. I want to see if we can move up in this draft. So trading our 26th pick, can we move somewhere into the top 10? The only way we're going to get is giving up those two. Can we move into the early lottery? What about the Warriors pick or the Timberwolves pick? Can we even move up? We can't even move up to the top 15. Wow, so it looks like the top 12, or pretty much the lottery, is going to be tight shut. I'm going to fire our coach, and I'm going to put in, Billy Donovan and John Smith. I think we're going to pick up Billy Donovan as our head coach. I want to make sure we lock him in. And our assistant GM, I'll just find whoever's available. So we get Billy Donovan as our new head coach. And here we go up into the NBA draft. Plenty of injuries. But I want to see who will be available to us at the 26th pick. Scotty Lewis is the guy I'm looking at taking. Anfali Dante, a young prospect at center, could replace Aaron Baines. I want to see so Stephen Hunter, I don't even know if Stephen Hunter is, but he looks like a potential starter, good offensive player, second best center, no steals, passes physical. That's looking pretty interesting. We also have Kai Soto, who's a guy that I've been high on before. We don't have much scouting intel on him, though. I'm thinking we're definitely going to go with N'Faly Dante. Look at that. 18 years old, so he's young. We can develop him in the G League. 7'10" wingspan. We're going to take N'Faly Dante out of Oregon. And with our second round pick, number 57, again in the later part of the draft, I'm just looking for any relevant name. Charles Bassey is still available. Let me search by the rankings and see. Joel Ayayi still available. So it looks like Joel Ayayi is the only player that I would possibly pick here. And I think we're going to go with him. He's a good shooter, 3-level scorer. So I like those two picks. Gabe Brown ends up going number 1 out of Texas. Jalen Suggs number 2. Jalen Green 3. And Cade Cunningham 4. N'Faly Dante 75 overall at the very back of the draft. I'm happy about that. And then if we move all the way back to our Raptors pick, Joel Ayayi 70 overall. I think I'm going to sign both of them because Ayayi we can at least develop into a 3-point shooter. N'Faly Dante, 18 years old, 75 overall for a 25th pick or 26th pick. I think that's a really good value. So we're going to go ahead and sign them. Norman Powell accepts his player option. So we will be getting Norman Powell back. We will also be retaining the rights to Matt Thomas. So with that, Kawhi Leonard is available. Paul George is available. So the entire Clippers team is gone. Any other notable free agents? Spencer Dinwiddie. Michael Porter Jr. has declined. They declined his team option? That is shocking. Julius Randle. So a decent free agent class. Qualifying offers. I'm going to offer it to all three of them. I'm pretty sure they won't accept a qualifying offer because they'll accept some other bigger contract from somebody else. But as of now, here is the roster that we have going into free agency. Fred VanVleet and Joel Ayayi as the backup. Norman Powell and Matt Thomas. We have no small forward. Pascal Siakam and then N'Faly Dante. I want to look at N'Faly Dante here. So it looks like a decent inside finisher, a good mid-range shot, decent post moves. I want to see his rebounding. Mediocre rebounding, somewhat athletic, pretty strong. So it looks like a good athlete. B+ potential. I also want to look at Joel Ayayi. So again, very mediocre shooting. Looks like more of a slasher with anything. Decent ball handle, not a great defender. Let me see what I can do trying to flip Joel Ayayi. He's on the team option. And this is what I'm talking about. We may be able to get a solid backup. Like even a Peyton Pritchard, they're just offering him straight up, who's a good shooter. Patrick Beverley. There are a lot of interesting options here. I want to get something I can use immediately. I don't want a draft pick. I want something immediate. I'm looking at this pick right here. Peyton Pritchard. We can get him on a 2-year team contract. So we'll at least get 3 years of him. But he is 23 years old. What is his potential? If we can get his potential up, a B+ potential, good overall stats, looks like a pretty good 3-and-D guard, can handle, good 3-pointer. I think we're going to take this, we're going to swap Ayayi, and we're going to pick up Peyton Pritchard. And then our backup point guard will be Peyton Pritchard. So, I'm liking how the roster is shaking up right now. We're still somewhat young. We have Fred VanVleet and Pascal to build around. We have a young center in Fali Dante. We're going to need to fill out our small forward and our backup bigs. I'm looking at possibly bringing Kawhi back to Toronto or back to the Raptors. But that will be for next episode. Guys, who should I sign? Should I try and go after Paul George or bring back Kawhi to the Raptors in the next episode? Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more, and I'll see you next episode at the start of free agency.